But the fact is, up and down the country, you go to any town in this country now, any city in this country, and you ask the local authority, do they have a target for reducing the number of vehicles on the road over the next 5 to 10 years? And they'll say yes. And most of them will say, we're going to try and reduce the number of vehicle movements they talk about, not the number of cars, they say, but the number of vehicle movements by between 20 and 30%.
What's wrong with that?
And they're saying, because it's not their business. It's their business to provide roads for people who can afford cars to make use of them because they've worked for those cars and very often need them. It's their job to provide roads, provide highways and maintain them, not to have a plan to stop people using their cars when they so often need them. And that's what's wrong with that, Kevin. And it's just bullying because nobody has been asked about this. And if you go to the government and you say, well, what's this policy? Everyone's got it, so it must be a government policy somewhere. They say, no, it's nothing to do with us. And then you pick up the Driver and Vehicle Standards Agency's Vision for 2030 that came out last week, which, of course, is a government body. And it says exactly that, you know, by a certain date, by 2030, we'll have reduced all these cars. Nobody's been consulted. Nobody's been asked. Nobody's been honest with people about this. And that's why you're getting a kickback. I'll just say one other thing.
Go on then, and then I want to
I'll be very quick. I've always thought the British motorist is actually a very, very... will accept almost anything. They put up with almost anything until a certain point. And at that point, they turn and they get really angry. And at that point, the politicians get swept away. And I think we've pushed it now to the point where people are really angry.
Kevin.
I mean, the reason I asked you that question, Daniel, was because it's not that councils of political persuasions across the country hate cars, right? I love cars, I love driving, right? But some of our bigger cities, Glasgow, London, they were built for horses and pedestrians, right? If everybody who could afford a car had one, we would enter, you know, just breakdown territory in terms of traffic jams and stuff. What is absolutely the case is that a lot of people who are already suffering under the cost of living are very, very strongly against the plans in different locations, including the Mayor of London, to make it more expensive to drive high-polluting vehicles. It is very contentious, absolutely. There are, and I really do get that, but there are also many people desperately worried in London about air quality pollution, who like the low traffic neighbourhoods. I hope that the scheme can be reformed, that the scrappage allowances can be increased to make it more palatable to folks. But what the Mayor, who I've worked with on stuff in politics before, has said in response to this announcement, that he's motivated by air quality in London, not a war against the motorist.
Nobody believes that.
Yeah.
I
do, yeah. Sadiq Khan, if I could just finish for getting the barrage, Sadiq Khan passionately believes in better air quality in London. And where I do agree with you is that if it's so unpopular, he'll lose the elections.